What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy and welcome to another video on the channel. Today guys, I wanted to make a short video talking about Mickey and his role in Scala at Caelum going forward in the next Kingdom Hearts saga, next phase. We don't have a name for this phase yet. Honestly, we really need one because I'm tired of saying next saga, next phase, because it sounds so vague. I mean, like, the next phase is kind of already started with Dark Road and Melody of Memory, but hasn't fully yet. Those feel like more so like teasers, I guess you can say, rather than full scale step forwards into the next saga. I don't really know, just pet peeve, ignore me. But what we do know from Melody of Memory and its ending, it gave us a lot to look forward to. We have Kairi and Aqua supposedly training together. I made a video about that recently, about Kairi potentially becoming a Keyblade master under Aqua. We have Dawn and Goofy, who is going to be reporting to everyone, the Days trio, the Radiant Garden trio, Birth by Sleep trio as well, likely, that Riku has went into Quadratum, telling them of the current situation and letting them know to stop their respective efforts, because as we know, all of them were helping to save Sora. All of them were chipping in some way, shape, or form, searching in various places, offering up their bodies, their hearts for research. Everyone's been helping out for the past year. That's the time gap after Remind, to help and find Sora, and no one really found anything until the Limit Cut secret episode. But one thing in specifics that I highly believe is going to be a major plot point going into the next saga is going to be Mickey in Scala at Caelum. He is going to be the one in charge of researching the Lost Masters, the ancient Keyblade wielders, rather. Now, when they refer to the ancient Keyblade wielders in Kingdom Hearts, they are referring to the people in Union Cross. For a long time, I thought that when they said this, they were referring to the foretellers, but it makes more sense that they're referring to the Union leaders. Reason being is because those are the only Keyblade wielders who ended up surviving in some way, shape, or form. Or rather, we don't know if the Union leaders all survive, but the Dandelions definitely do survive and live to tell the story. While the foretellers, everyone who knew of the foretellers, aside from masters themselves, like Blueshoe or the Master of Masters, for example, ended up either dying in the Keyblade War or ended up becoming Dandelions, in which case their memories were kind of vaguely wiped. So their foretellers, the Dandelions foretellers, are the Union leaders: Brain, Laurium, Ventus, Scold, and Ephemer. So Mickey's going to be researching more about these Union leaders. And as we know, their story isn't quite finished yet, or we don't know what happens at the end of their story yet, but we might very soon. Union Cross has recently got an update where they had a major encounter with Darkness. Brain started attacking him, and we got a reveal that Brain is actually the wielder of Ericus's Keyblade. And as far as Dark Road goes, which is the story that's taking place after Union Cross, featuring Xehanort and Ericus, among many other new characters in Scala at Caelum, we don't know exactly how that story is going to progress either, but we do know that Ericus has a major involvement in that story. So this might be a arc that involves Mickey learning a lot more about these characters and finding out what their significance exactly was, what they were trying to stop. And Mickey might actually find out that there's a way bigger threat out there than Xehanort. One, in fact, that Xehanort himself might have been trying to save us from, or stop us from experiencing. And that threat is probably Darkness, that same Darkness they're fighting in Union Cross, which I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being the same Darkness that ends up messing with everything in Dark Road. But we're still very early on in Dark Road, and I have no idea how many episodes that is going to have, so that is something that has to wait to be seen. But I'm sure that Darkness is going to pop up in Dark Road and screw with everything. Darkness might even be a reason Xehanort went down this path instead of the light one. I won't lie, I would definitely prefer it a tiny bit if like some other characters were in this role in Scala at Caelum. Like, I would love to play as like Roxas in Scala, for example, or like a Birth by Sleep trio, since that's something that relates to them very heavily, because Ericus grew up in Scala at Caelum, so researching kind of what their master's childhood was like would be very interesting. But that also means they might have a lot of emotional attachment to the mission, which could affect some things, but I don't know, just theorizing here. I guess it's just weird because Mickey isn't someone that I'm particularly really excited whenever I get to play as them in the Kingdom Hearts series. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was in love with playing as Mickey and Remind, and I love the aspect, the don't give up aspect of Kingdom Hearts 2. I always thought both of those things were extremely fun, but having a full-on Mickey playable segment, if this were to be that instead of just cutscenes, that sounds a little odd, but interesting at the same time. Every Kingdom Hearts game loves to try new things, and a Mickey playable game would definitely be one of those new things. I wonder what type of things he would end up finding there and how he would end up going to Scala at Caelum in the first place, because as I mentioned in another video I made, the Scala at Caelum that Mickey visits, the same Scala that we see Sora in, is probably not the same one that Mickey's going to end up going to, because remember, that was a Scala at Caelum that was created from Xehanort's heart. That was basically an arena that he chose for his final battle, while the actual location of Scala at Caelum where that would be, it might be in complete ruins. There could be nothing left. We don't know exactly what the real Scala at Caelum would look like, but who knows, maybe through some weird lore spectacle thingy, they do somehow find a way to explore the Scala at Caelum that they saw in Xehanort's heart. But if Mickey is going to be the one introducing all of this into the next saga, he's going to be the one pushing forward the foreteller, the ancient Keyblade Masters storyline, because we know that that relates very heavily likely to Darkness, who I feel like might end up being the main antagonist of the series and serving as kind of a gateway into the foretellers coming in. Then this is a pretty significant role for Mickey right here. I mean, Mickey is a Keyblade master, so it makes sense that he gets to research other masters. But I definitely wonder if something like this will be playable, because a lot of people have been wanting to play in Scala at Caelum, and if this is something that's playable, then that would make a whole lot more sense why they expanded Scala at Caelum in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, and might expand it even further for a game like this. I personally cannot wait to see what they actually come up with. While I doubt every single aspect is going to be playable of these games, I do think that we are going a multiple playable characters route with Kingdom Hearts. So I definitely think characters at the minimum like Aqua and Kairi are likely going to be playable again, along with maybe a Roxas in a short segment or two. And Mickey is kind of a wild card. I have no idea if he's going to be playable or not, because on one hand it's Mickey Mouse, but on the other hand we have played as him before technically in both Remind and Kingdom Hearts 2. However, a full-scale game with Mickey might be completely different from just a segment. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. But that's going to be about it for today's video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, share the video with a friend or family member, and last but not least, if you have not already, and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is hit that red little subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, you guys. Bye.